I know you're stressed, and it seems everyone is stressed right now, and life is getting more and more stressful. I mean, it's no wonder stress levels rising, and you're watching this video most likely because you feel that weight upon your shoulders. You feel that stress, that tension pulling you apart every day, and it feels like you're carrying an immense weight, and you kind of just want to let go of some of that weight so you can breathe. It feels like you haven't relaxed or breathed a deep breath for a long time. And I can see things only getting worse currently for the most of us, and I see this stress rising and rising. It's quite clear why, and it's clear to many of us. And Stoicism, was very popular during the time of Marcus Aurelius at a very stressful time in history. During the Marcomannic Wars, the Antonine Plague, and it was kind of there to guide the Stoics and help them through these times. And I think we're going through difficult times right now as a whole collective. Everybody on the majority are stressed out of their minds. So I just wanted to come in there and help with 7 Stoic principles. They're quite easy to incorporate into your life, and they should help alleviate some of that stress. I hope. I feel pretty chill and pretty relaxed, and I think my stress is gone because of Stoicism. It certainly helps, I guess. So the first thing is choose your hard. The Stoics understood this, the Buddhists understood this, that you will suffer in life. Suffering it never goes away. You will suffer no matter what. But the Stoics had this idea of voluntary discomfort, of, sleeping on the floor, eating plain foods, cold showers, cold baths, these kind of things. Diogenes the Cynic would hug bronze statues naked in the freezing cold. And, this is no new idea. People talk about this currently. And a lot of the Stoics' ideas, especially with Marcus Aurelius, when he's talking about sleeping on a hard floor, he was the emperor of Rome. He could have slept in a nice bed. He learned it from the Greek agoge training, what the warriors did, where from a young age they'll do this intense training, kind of like what is depicted in 300 with the Spartans. But voluntary discomfort and choosing your hard is very simple. You don't have to go all out there. Just in the morning, have a cold shower, eat a bland porridge, do some fasting, do some exercise in the morning, pull off the hard task in the morning, or these kind of things. I don't recommend sleeping on a hard floor. I did it for many years when I was younger, and I never seen any benefit from it. I used to always just get a bad neck and headaches. Anyway, so we've all met someone, or we've been in a situation, something we've done frequently, a hard challenge that we do frequently, maybe a grueling task or something quite stressful, but we've done it many times from a young age. And a new guy comes along, and the new guy on the first day is like panicking, this is too much, I can't cope, and you're just chill. And if you haven't been that chill guy, maybe you've been in a situation where you've seen that chill guy and you're like, how are they so chill? I'm struggling here. This is stressful. This is hard. And it's because they've adapted to it. You go through hard times, you adapt to it. And you see this with people that have, been in the military, they've been through difficult situations, and they come back to civilian life and suddenly they're kind of chill about most things because their stresses have gone up, and they've maintained composure through the hard times. They've trained for the hard times, so that they're ready for the easier times. And so when you have your cold shower every morning, or you do your intense exercise every morning, whatever it is, you set yourself up at a level where you've already done something difficult, so whatever befalls you throughout the day is relatively easier. Now, I won't remove these stressors, but it builds you up. And the thing, when life happens to you, sometimes it can stress you out, happen to you, and you're not prepared for it. You're not going in willingly, and it can actually knock you down. The difficulties and stresses of life can actually make you worse, make you weaker and more stressed. But if you go at it correctly with the correct mindset, willingly, voluntary discomfort, and you go in and say, I'm going to do this. You're aware of it. You do it. It doesn't freak you out. It doesn't weaken you. It strengthens you. It builds confidence within you so you can take on a day. It can be simple things. Cold showers is very great. Intense exercise is very great. Just do it at your level. Build that up. Choose your hard. And the other hard things of life seem to be a bit easier. So the next thing, and this is simple advice, not just from the Stoics, but to reduce your inputs, to cut out the noise. Seneca said, you must withdraw yourself from the crowd. So right now is what we need. We need this. I'm making a video on this about the social media algorithm, how it's like designed just to like corrupt your mind. Well, it's designed to gain your attention, and the things that gain our attention usually are based off of vices. So it feeds into our vices, and it feeds into it more and more and more and more, and it will only get deeper and further deep into the crevices of your psyche and the vices within you. So it's like kind of weakening you as you go along. So cut out the noise, have time without your phone, reduce your screen time. You look at your screen time, many people, it's up to like 7 hours. That's 7 hours of tailor-made content being force-fed to you that is not strengthening you, it's not encouraging you. There is right ways to go on social media, there's positive ways you can do, but if you're not aware of this, then it is just weakening you. And every time you give in to just one more scroll, you're also weakening yourself. But reducing the input, you've got millions of voices hitting you all day throughout the day. Like history, no one in history 10 years prior has had a fraction of the noise we're exposed to, the input we're exposed to. It is just insane. No one's had anything close to this. And you're a victim to this. All the noises, all the stressors, is just wild. And you see all these bad news all around the world that you wouldn't have access to ever. You might, like once a year, you might hear of one of these things when you was younger. Now you hear about like 1,000 times a day, and that has a real effect on you. So just cut out the noise, and you'll find, if your cup is full, it's hard to add more into the cup. And if your stress cup, bad analogy, if your cup is already full of stress, then any more stress is gonna spill over and just tip you over the edge. But if you empty that cup and there's not much stress in it, then little bits that are added throughout the day, your boss being annoying, the boss being late, doesn't seem so overwhelming. It's more like a seesaw, actually. Currently the stress is tipped right down. Bad analogies. Anyway, the cup was all right. The next thing is an exercise from the Stoics, premeditatio malorum, which is the premeditation of the evils that lay ahead, or we might call this negative visualization. Epictetus walks us through this, saying, when you go out to the public baths, remind yourself that people will push, people will splash, people will have rude language. This is no surprise. You can do it right now. Meditate on this idea. Before you go to work, remind yourself of the stresses that lay ahead. Your bus might be late, the bus driver might be rude, people on the bus might be annoying, it might be raining, you might get to work, your boss might be annoying, colleagues might be annoying again. And you sort of prepare yourself for this, you meditate on it and really feel it, like imagine facing all these problems and accepting them, saying this is a part of life. My annoying boss is like dogs bark, birds chirp, my boss is annoying. And you kind of, it really helps. I really recommend that exercise. Very helpful. The next is to detach from the story you are telling yourself. As Epictetus said, it is not things that upset us, but our judgment about these things. So when something bad happens to you, don't say this is a disaster. Say this is a challenge that I can overcome. It's the way you're framing the story. I learned about this from one of the Stoics, can't remember her, this idea of catastrophization. We catastrophize things through language and imagination. Something happens to us and we say, this is it. This is the worst. This is the worst day ever. This is a catastrophe. This is disaster. My life is ruined. But you can decatastrophize. see it for what it is. This is a minor challenge that I can overcome. I've overcome challenges like this in the past. Other people overcome challenges like this daily. I can overcome it, and with overcoming that challenge come great gifts like wisdom, strength, courage, temperance, justice. We learn from the challenges that life presents us. So another great exercise that the Stoics did, they did it with like Hercules. Marcus Aurelius did it with Epictetus. They did it with Socrates. But the idea is virtue modeling. And, you see people have the "What would Jesus do" bracelets and the mantra, "What would Jesus do?" But we can make our own version of this. And the idea is simple, is when, I like to think of Aragorn. So I think Aragorn's a great depiction of a man. Or Samwise is a great depiction of a man. And Samwise is very good, actually. So when you're going through stressors, you're going through a certain challenge, just remember this model. Find that person that you can model yourself off. So when you go through difficult times, when you're stressed, when you're worried, you can think, what would this person do? So I like to think, like I said, what would Samwise do? What would Aragorn do? And it gives you direction. It nudges you in the right direction. And it helps relieve stress in a way. It's like having a mentor watching over you with that seal of approval, like, yeah, do it like this. Or having a parent watching over you going, yeah, do it like this. And it just takes that stress off your shoulders. So the next Stoic principle to help with stressful times is to let others be wrong. As Marcus Aurelius says, you always have the option of having no opinion. Not every fight is worth fighting. Not every battle is worth fighting. You can just say, it is what it is, forget about it. And I know it sounds silly. Sometimes people think it's silly advice, but you really don't have to get involved in every little thing going on. Your colleagues are having some debate or an argument. Your boss is being annoying. The bus driver, the traffic. You don't have to get involved. You can stay within your inner citadel. You can just focus on your life. Just chill out. When these things are going on, just think, is it, last time I got involved in the office discussion, it got a bit heated, it didn't end up well. And the last time I said something to the bus driver, it didn't end up well, it didn't really help. In fact, it led to more stress. You can just sometimes, when these things are going on, just sit back and enjoy this show. So last thing is journaling for clarity. Marcus Aurelius, obviously the famous Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, was his journal. And journaling helps in so many ways. So number one, I remember hearing a story about a girl that was going to therapy and she was told to journal. And she was like, I don't know what to journal about. My mind is so full of stuff. I don't know what to journal about. And the therapist was like, that's why you need to journal. Your mind is so full of stuff that you don't even know to start. Just start writing it down, whatever comes to mind. Anything. And you start flowing and getting it all out there. Number one is you clear it. You clear all this noise. You get it written down. It's like, it's off your shoulders. But the second, I guess, most important thing is problems. We go back to catastrophizing. Problems are catastrophizing our mind. They swirl around and they become a hideous monster. We regurgitate them and pick out the pieces we want to create an image we want. And often it's based off of anxieties and fear. It's like I suppose a protective response in a way. It's seeing a threat and it's trying to pick apart the threat, because it's wise to do that sometimes. But when you keep pulling out the threat and making the villain and keep distorting it until it becomes something rather scary, it's no good to anyone. It's not the truth. And you write it down and you're like, oh, that's not so bad. My washing machine's broke. That's not good. I know that sounds silly, but a washing machine breaking down can spiral people out. It can be very stressful because it's just. I know it seems like many people listening. If you get it, you get it. You've been there where your washing machine starts leaking and it's like the end of the world, and everything. Oh, I can't pay my bills. I'm going to be late to work. My clothes can't be clean. What am I going to do? All this kind of thing, and it just gets worse and worse. You write it down and you go, oh, washing machine's broken. What's the problem? The filters come out. Well, we can fix that. My mate Jimmy down the road knows how to fix it. I can fix myself. I can Google how to fix it. It's going to be £40 to fix. Maybe £40 isn't so as bad as you thought it would be. Maybe you have to pick up a few extra hours at work. Maybe £40 is a lot, and then you have to get a friend to help you. But the thing is, once you write down these problems, they seem less scary. I hope those principles helped. I was trying to think of like more simple ones that you can pick up today and find real benefit in. They're just certain things that have helped me in the past deal with stress. I used to be quite a stressed person, and that stress is like gone. And I put nearly all of that down to, obviously a lot of it comes with growing up personally, but I think I put a lot of that down to these principles that I spoke about today. I've been virtue modeling a lot recently, thinking about people at Aragon. It's very helpful. It's strange, oddly helpful. Then letting others be wrong, very helpful. I was like, let it go. And you realise, if you do it for a few weeks or months, you're like, I do not need to be involved. It's like when you used to watch Coronation Street or EastEnders, or some sort of drama that you watch. So I don't know in America what they have, or Germany or wherever you are. But you're so involved in it, and you're like, oh, what's going on? Who's going on? What's this? And you feel so like you have to know the next thing. And then you go away on holiday and you forget about the soaps, you forget about the TV shows. And when people talk about it, you're kind of like, not really bothered. That don't really bother me. And that's how this works. Truly. It's helpful. Right. That's it. I just want to talk about something because I'm trying to clear up and help clear up confusion that I never fully addressed, because the majority of you watching are from America. So I just thought I'd show that this is the American version of my book. This is the Everyday Stoic Simple Rules for a Good Life. It is a book full of, I would say ideas like this, but it's similar to this, but it's based off of my experiences. When I was 18 and I was working as a labourer earning less than minimum wage, like a quarter of minimum wage, being illegally underpaid. I didn't like life. I was very anxious all the time, very sad, very depressed, very defeatist, very negative. And I just see no alternative for me than what my life was, because I just had self-defeatist thoughts and no self-belief. And then I discovered Stoicism, reading the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, reading the Enchiridion, the Discourses, Seneca's work, and trying to make sense of it. And somewhere along the line, I'm putting all these principles together, trying to use them in my life whilst I was hating life, just trying to follow these Stoic principles. And eventually things start to click. And, it's like 10 years since then, and Stoicism is clicking so well, and it's helping so much in my life. It's helped so much in my life. My anxiety is just out the window. My self-defeatist thoughts out the window. The self-doubt, everything. I'm happy with life. I feel very successful personally as a person and in my life. And that's down to Stoicism. But this book is like an entry in Stoicism, because that's kind of what I wish I had. I spent a long time trying to grasp these things. Like, this doesn't make sense. This does make sense. What's Marcus Aurelius saying? What's Epictetus saying? Didn't really make sense to me because I didn't have the education. So I've put it into a short book to like shorten your journey to get to where make progress I made. I don't know. Anyway, thank you as always for listening and watching. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you as always. And there was something I want to say. Oh, guys, girls, if you really want to help me, something that really helps, and I'd really appreciate it if you can do this right now, is if you've read my book, to leave an honest review. Wherever you read it, wherever you got it from, Amazon, or leave it on Goodreads, wherever you got it from, maybe Amazon or Goodreads, whatever. Just leave an honest review. Say how you felt about the book, what you thought about the book, what you liked, whatever. So when people go there, they see the book, they can get an honest feedback, and it might resonate with them. They might be like, oh yeah, I feel like Jimmy did. I feel like Sarah does. And this book could be the right book for me. Or they might go, yeah, whatever. Anyway, thank you for listening and have a wonderful day. Remember, I'm deadly serious, so serious about this. As someone that used to watch videos like this for years and years and was thinking, I'm helping, I was using it as a form of procrastination to stop me from actually making action. To actually improve, you have to make change. Your life won't change if you don't change. So it's okay watching this video, but actually act upon the things I'm saying in this video if you want to improve. It's like, a simple one is thinking you're going to write a review. Thinking you're going to write a review for my book. It's okay thinking it, but thinking it and doing it is a completely different thing. You haven't done it until you've done it. And that's the same with the teachings in here. It's okay thinking, I'm going to save this for later. No, you haven't done it until you've done it. And you might think, oh, these teachings really help. And they might really help. You might go, this one doesn't really help me as much. You find out by trying it. Don't procrastinate by just watching self-improvement videos. Act upon what the videos say, and you can find out for yourself what works for you, because everyone's different. But I believe a lot of you watching feel exactly how I felt back then. So I believe I've tailored it towards that sort of person. Have a wonderful day.